is to one of my students who asked me, what do vegans do when a spider ends up in their house? Well, there's a few options, but what we typically do over here is we have a piece of cardboard lying around and we keep a container, an empty container of hummus. If you don't know what hummus is, it's ground up chickpeas and you dip carrots and cucumbers in there or crackers, whatever. It's really good and it's healthy, it has a lot of protein. So we keep this there. So we try to catch the spider very, very delicately because we don't want to hurt the spider. The spider just came there innocently. Poor little sweetheart, she was just like minding her own business, la la la, and ended up in your house. So, you know, she's just as freaked out as you are, even more. I mean, she's terrified. A giant is coming after her. So you take the cardboard and you gently put it underneath the spider and you just lower the lid. You have to be so careful not to hurt her poor little legs. And then you carry her outside and you just put it down and you lift up the top and you walk away and she will find her way. That's it. I hope that helps.
There's no excuse for animal abuse. Stop being bullies, stop being rude. Real men protect animals. They don't pay for murder. Animals are friends, not food. Time to rise from boys to men. You can do it, Ethan and John. You can both be better and be vegan from now on.
Hi, Luna. Listen, I don't want you to go and watch any videos unless your parents are there with you or they watch them first, okay? But I want you to trust me when I tell you that these industries are very, very abusive. I don't want you to watch these videos because you're too young. You might have nightmares. And I mean, it's even traumatic for me to even think about it. I've watched hundreds and thousands of hours of them and I'm still suffering because I know what goes on. But essentially, just think about it this way. The sheep are not just having a nice little haircut. This is an industry, so everything goes fast. Okay, so the sheep are thrown down, they're raised really fast, they are bleeding. When they're babies, they go through something called mulesing so that they don't get bugs in their bum. They shave off the back of near their bum, but they take off the first like part of the skin. And so it's just, there's so much horrible stuff to the wool industry. And just trust me for the moment, okay? Well, it's not good. Vegans always consider the animals first. So we don't breed animals. We don't believe in buying them from pet stores because then it's like a supply and demand thing. They keep making them. Now Bella's here with us because she was in a shelter and she was behind bars and she wasn't in a home. So she was suffering. So we brought her to live with us as a companion. And right now she's licking out the last bit of the peanut butter jar. And so yeah, it's basically that. So if you think about horses, I mean, I hate to tell you this because I know you have these pets and obviously you're going to keep them and take care of them. But the reality is, you know, horses should be outside in the wild and cats are bred in order to be able to exist with us. But then we kill other animals for our cats. And we don't want to kill any animals for Bella, and that's why she's vegan. She eats a healthy vegan dog food. I'm going to try hard to help you guys to understand what I'm talking about, why coming out as a vegan animal rights activist is so difficult for some teenagers. Hear me out, please. It will take several videos. Please watch them all. Imagine that you're 13 years old or 15 years old. Let's call you Lisa. Okay, now Lisa has done 100 hours of research. She's watched every documentary that's ever been recommended. She's watched undercover footage. She's had conversations with people. She's tried new recipes. She's checked out labels on clothing and everything. And she has realized that she cannot be part of these industries anymore. The egg, the dairy, the meat industries, fur, all of it. It is like she is born into the body of a new person. She cannot change. There's no going back. Everywhere she goes, she sees death. On the plates of people beside her, on the shoes she sees leather, on the steering wheel of her uncle's car, in school, every day, all the time. She suffers all the time. Part 2 is coming. Okay, so this is part 2, coming out as a vegan animal rights activist. So we have our person who is named Lisa, and let's say she's 15 years old. So she has become a vegan animal rights activist. It just happened to her. In the same way that you are born as a gay or lesbian person, this just happens to somebody. It's not something they decide they're going to do. It is something that they discover about themselves, that they can no longer live in a world that is full of so much violence, and they can't keep eating it, and they can't keep wearing it, and they can't keep pretending it doesn't exist. And so this takes over their entire personality, because everywhere around them they see it. In the school cafeteria, their teacher talks about riding horses and the person thinks, oh, that I don't think that's okay because these horses have been broken, their spirits have been broken, they've been taken out of the wild. Every time they want to go to the zoo as a school, this person is thinking that. So it's an all-consuming thing, and society is completely against them. They always feel isolated. Part 3, these are some of the hardest videos that I do because I have to try to cram so much in, but it's really important to me that you guys understand. So I'm just gonna blurt it all out. So we have our 15-year-old now who has come out of the closet as an animal rights activist in her home. Now you have a parent, let's say you, John Robert Bell, you said that if you had a child you would try your best to support that child. But do you understand what that really means? Do you understand what that means? It means that you cannot just wear leather around your child because that will be triggering to them. They will think about the death, the suffering that they have seen from the leather industry. You can't just eat meat in front of your child and just say, well, I'm going to buy my kid vegan food. That would be torture for them because they would see this death going into you every day. The milk, they would know about how the cows were abused, how the mother cows were raped. This is torture for a child. A 15-year-old should not have to go through this. So the support they need is incredible. So what can you do if you have a 15-year-old girl, her name is Lisa, who's just come out and decided that she can no longer live in the world unless she is an active vegan animal rights activist. So she has decided she can't eat all of these products and everything, okay? So as a parent, what can you do to be the best parent possible? Well, think what you would do if you had a member of the LGBTQ community in your house who came out. You would give this person a hug, you would be super supportive, and you would always defend them. But then that's not something that happens 3 times a day. It's not, you're in the house, okay, you're having dinner. There's nothing really going on in that department. Yes, you're gonna have to defend your child and do things outside of the home and with the school, maybe there's some bullying. But with a vegan animal rights activist, it's all the time. Every single meal that you make, you will now, if you're a good parent, stop buying any animal products. You won't have them in the house because these will be extremely triggering to your child. So, are you up to it? Can you do it? Part 5. Okay, now, you are the parent to Lisa, a 15-year-old who just came out of the closet as a vegan animal rights activist. You are the most wonderful parent ever. You are no longer buying any products. You're going vegan with her. You are gradually getting rid of all things that are animal products in your house over time, and you're amazing, okay? But here's still what happens. Every time your child leaves the house, they see McDonald's, they see the signs, and they are triggered. And there's no trigger warning like John Robert Bell wants to put on TikTok. There's no trigger warning for these people. They go everywhere and see this death. They see fur coats on their friends. They see Canada Goose coats and they're reminded of the torture that the coyote went through with its paw stuck in a trap so hard that they had to sometimes chew them off to get back to their puppies. On and on. You have no idea how much these kids suffer. And they go to school and they are bullied and people throw bacon at them and think it's hilarious. All right, so part 6, exactly. This comment that I just got is exactly what I was going to talk about. Then what happens is your child, your 15-year-old, starts to get something called dystopia, the agony of living in a non-vegan world. And it becomes hell. And people start to say, oh, you seem so depressed all the time. What's wrong with the food that you're eating? But it has nothing to do with the food you're eating. It has to do with the fact that when you become this incredibly compassionate vegan animal rights activist, you are devastated that the people around you, that your teachers, the principal, everybody around you is not changing with you. You tell them, oh my God, I just discovered this horrible thing that society is doing to the chickens, the cows, and the pigs, and the eggs, and everything. It's awful. Come on, let's go fight with it together. Let's go. And they're just like, meh. And this is just incredible. And so they come on TikTok and spend hours and hours trying to convince you. And this is the problem. They need love and support. Part 7. So your 15-year-old named Lisa, she comes out as a vegan animal rights activist. It is something she cannot help, she cannot change. There is no conversion therapy going on. And she has an entire world against her. Her teachers think she's crazy. Her friends stop inviting her over because they don't want to be eating pizza in front of her. And she doesn't want to see them eating pizza in front of her either, unless it's vegan pizza. But do people order vegan pizza for everybody? No. they just don't invite Lisa to come over. So Lisa spends time in her room crying, trying very hard to defend the animals, trying to do a good thing. She's got new vegan friends, which is great. She's going to maybe the Cube of Truths. Please Google that if you don't know what it is. She's trying to make new friends, and it's great. But at the same time, the world is not changing as it should. And there are people on TikTok who block her videos, and she tries to educate people on TikTok about what's going on, and TikTok blocks all of the animal rights footage, all of the undercover footage, and so she can't. Okay, part 8. So you're the most amazing parent. You have a 15-year-old. She has come out as a vegan animal rights activist. It's in her. She cannot change. She can't undo the fact that she now feels empathy that she never felt before because she didn't know before. And she's having a bit of trouble with her friends, but she's trying really hard. She's keeping her chin up. She's doing all that she can. But it becomes too much, because she realizes that other members of the family, the uncles and the aunts and the cousins, don't understand it. And people are always trying to say, hey, well, do you want to try just a bit of this cake? It only has a little bit of egg in it. And they just don't get it, that it's not about food. It's about not harming animals. And then people give her birthday gifts, like a box of chocolate or something. And she's like, she can't accept it because it has cow's milk in it. And she knows what happens to the cows in the industry. So she's having a hard time all the time. So you as parents, you send her to a therapist, and guess what? The therapist has no idea what Vistopia is, has never researched it, and cannot help her. Now what? So coming out as an animal rights activist is not easy. It is extremely painful, and it never ends. It's not like you have in society right now. For example, here in Canada, the LGBTQ community, they can get married to each other. We have laws, but do we have laws in the schools that say that there must be a vegan option in the cafeteria? No. They have so many things. If a person is hospitalized and wants vegan food, the nurse rolls her eyes at them. Even the nurses and the doctors don't understand. They are not educated about what veganism is. They don't even know what the protein amounts are in different foods. And so vegans spend all their spare time defending animals, learning about nutrition, and constantly defending themselves over and over. Not just 3 times a day at each meal, but in between all the time as well. I hope this helps you to understand a little bit. I'll do more videos in the future. Stop going in circles, stop going in circles, be vegan right now. Stop going in circles, be vegan right now.